another little horn, as told by the Messiah in Matthew chapter 24. Now, Matthew 24 starts off, verse 1. It says, "And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily, verily, I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" So this is future that they're asking him about, right? They ask him about what's going to happen in the future. Now, I'm going to skip over because this is talking about another little horn, as well as other events that have yet to be fulfilled in our times. Verse 29. I'm skipping all the way down to verse 29. It says, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days," that's the great tribulation, "the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken." Those are solar and lunar eclipses, right? Okay, verse 30. It says, "Immediately after the tribulation," verse 30, "and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds." Okay. After the great tribulation, the Lord gonna come back. It says immediately after. Okay, but before that happens, what does verse 15 say? "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand." Now, we got groups of people in our nation, as well as others, that cherry pick the Bible to the point where they have great zeal, but not according to knowledge. Because Jesus is telling about what's going to happen in the future. But they say the abomination and desolation is, and they especially want to go to the Apocrypha about it and say that the abomination and desolation already been placed. They saying it happened in the past, during the Greek period. I'm gonna turn over to Daniel 8. Daniel 8. Daniel 8 and chapter 23. "And in the latter time of their kingdom," what is that? Means the latter days, the latter times, our times, right? Or very close thereafter. It says, "And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up." That means it's a powerful king gonna rise up, have an understanding of what the scriptures say. However, he ain't gonna tell you that. You read that in Romans 1, where it says they withhold the truth and unrighteousness. Verse 24, "And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people." Verse 25, "And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many." Over in the land of Israel, the Palestinians and the Israelis in the future gonna call for someone as a peacemaker between them. They've been fighting a long time over this land, right? Okay. and by peace he shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes. Ooh, who is that? That's Jesus. That's the Lord. Now, when people refer to the Apocrypha about the abomination of desolation, or this little horn, Antiochus Epiphanes of the Greek dynasty, he did stand up against Israel, but he didn't stand up against Jesus. He did not stand up against the prince of princes. So you have to pay attention to details. But he shall be broken without hand. Okay. So let me go to Daniel 7. Let's see. Daniel 7 verse 19. Then I shall know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue of with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things. Because it say right where? Say where about this horn. Verse 8 says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. Okay. Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. That's the Roman dynasty. Those other ones that were plucked up by the roots were the Huralians, the Ostrogoths, and the Vandals. The Roman Empire plucked them up completely. Okay? You don't hear no more about them no more. Okay? And it said this horn had eyes and a mouth speaking great things, but he didn't speak great good things. He spoke great blasphemous things against God. You can look it up in world history where Pope Pius X exalted himself, saying that the Pope is not just a representative of Christ, but he is Christ. You know, so he exalts himself. You know, and how many, you got billions of people following that religion, that doctrine. Because what does the Pope do? This little horn, when he goes from place to place, people bow down to him and kiss his ring, kiss his hand. But in the future, this is still in Daniel 7, it says, verse 21, I beheld the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came. So he gonna prevail against saints that are against him until the Lord come back. Because this man is going, when they call him as a peacemaker to come over there, it's going to kick off the Great Tribulation. It's going to be a time of trouble this world has not seen or never will see again. 3.5 years, not 7 years. There is no such thing as a 7-year tribulation. Okay? It's 3.5 years. You can read over and over in the Bible, 1,260 days, times and a half, times and divided the times. That's 3.5 years, not 7. That this man is going to have world rulership, where you're going to have to take a literal mark. In the Roman religion, what do they do now every year? They're getting people in practice for it. Every Ash Wednesday, they take a mark on their hand or on their forehead, right? Just putting some facts out there.